Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Libra, October 29, 2022. Early today, clarity is difficult because you're too close to a situation or worrying unnecessarily. The desire for control over a situation can arise if you feel vulnerable. Personal power comes from managing your own resources, responses, and modes of thinking constructively, not from attempts to control situations or others. However, it's harder to see this due to a Mercury-Pluto square. You may communicate intensity with your words, perhaps without even realizing it, and others' responses can be undesirable or surprising. It's probably best to avoid harsh words or suspicion. While it can sometimes help to prepare for the worst, this may go too far right now. Even with old issues resurfacing, a new talk about these matters is not the best idea, as it's likely to run in circles. Look for patterns that are no longer serving your better interests, and resolve to address them at a later date when people aren't as moody as they can be now. It can be a relief to resolve work or mechanical issues later today. The desire is to improve, and the benefits of cooperation to achieve your goals are clear. You're craving a genuine feeling that you're moving forward and growing. Unplug from the drama today. As your planetary ruler, mental Mercury, spins in the heavens of your solar 5th house of romance, dating, and children, he will get knocked upside the head by a crowbar from an angry Pluto orbiting in your solar 8th house of investments and assets. This could create a major conflict around money between you and a lover. This could even spell disaster if you are going through a divorce or separation and there's a sharp disagreement about ownership or children. Don't rock the boat or be pressured into an agreement. What is worth the investment? Your time, money, and energy are precious resources that are not meant to be squandered. But you might feel unsure of what to focus on when Mercury in Libra squares Pluto in Capricorn. Although tense, the square applies just the right amount of pressure for you to at least narrow down your options, if not come to a decision. You have a few different creative possibilities and ideas that are worth developing. But you should be mindful of what you choose to endorse, since it could become professionally and financially empowering. Thanks to the moon's departure from your work sector yesterday and the eclipsing new moon earlier in the week, there is a lot of enthusiasm and momentum as new doors open on the job front for the first time this year. In the thick of things is Venus, who as the planet of money is not just looking to move things forward but in a lucrative direction. Often the most lasting impressions our parents make on our lives can be found in how we treat our bodies. What you eat in the morning and at night, how much you exercise and your attitude about exercise, and how you regard rest are all things we learn at a very early age. It takes courage to re-examine these items as adults and take full responsibility for our health. Take today as your first challenge and just be aware of your health habits. The hour has come. Re-establish friendly relations with some of the people who you have had problems with in the past and who you collaborate with. Indeed, the vibrations this week will be strongly encouraging you to tighten the relationships you have on your team. In your sentimental life, you won't be able to help rekindling the warmth of the relationships you have with those close to you. It's true that things have progressed as quickly as you hoped they would, but the current inertia around you can be explained by the fact that there are some misunderstandings between you and those around you, most notably in your affective life. Having the moon in your relationship sector as Jupiter retrogrades back out of your friendship sector today is an advantage for both, and especially after their friendly aspect yesterday. The moon is making its last visit to your relationship sector before the Sun and Venus return next month, with a chance to become more emotionally engaged but also to connect with planets that will stay on to support friendship and relationship building. Meanwhile, on the job front, there is a chance to let things settle after the moon's departure from your work sector yesterday saw an eclipsing new moon run its course. With no planetary activity in your relationship sector since Mars left in January, the moon's monthly visits have been key to checking in. While the moon is making an ordinary monthly visit and there have been no changes since it was here 4 weeks ago, this last visit before the Sun and Venus, the planet of love return is a chance to start becoming more emotionally engaged. Our eyes in the sky. Today provides wonderful cosmic guidance for all in the area of spiritual development. Listening to your soul is where you'll find the most solace now. The Sagittarius moon propels you through the channels of your most profound inner work and philosophies. Many might have gone completely silent over the last few days because these are the kind of transits where ghosting is very possible. All is not lost with certain connections. It just points to a major overhaul in so many people's lives that it can be extremely difficult to focus on the most mundane of tasks. If someone has disappeared from your life, give them time to circle back around. Tomorrow brings a strong emotional Neptune influence that can have a sleepy and dreamy quality to it. It could be tough to stick to a strict schedule this week, and you might feel lost in the shuffle at times. Ask yourself where your mind seems to keep drifting when you get lost in those proverbial clouds. Maybe you're just being called to your next destination without even realizing it. Today marks a wonderful cycle of poetry, art and relationship connections that can lead you down the path of finding the soul mate of your dreams. Let love be your ultimate guide and muse. You never know what lies just around the corner. In the morning, the moon enters Sagittarius, ending its void of course which began last night. Over the next 2 days, spontaneity is key to our emotional equilibrium. We want options. We want experience. This is a good time to dive into a broad course of study or entertain discussions with people from different walks of life. It is an ideal lunar period for travel, physical exercise, self-exploration, and adventure. Oh, you have some challenges this week. Although you'll feel energized to get everything done, you may have some issues in your workplace or when it comes to your greater career goals. This minor setback is just that. It will move into the past almost as soon as it happens. The universe asks you to be sharp and focused now. It's an ideal week to think about starting a new business. Your work is changing, as is your money picture. Going with the flow means you should accept what's happening now instead of trying to resist it. Your relationships are not only important but also dreamily perfect for this moment in your life. Just a few minutes later, the moon trines Jupiter, its dispositor, in Aries. This aspect exacerbates the enthusiastic nature of the Sagittarius moon, inspiring us to broaden our horizons. We may be able to give something back to others now, acting in the spirit of philanthropy. Behaving generously instills us with greater gratitude for our circumstances. We have an easier time going with the flow and taking things on faith.